Hello students, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about recent catastrophe related to Titan submersible ship. It was basically a tourist ship that went all the way beyond the surface of the ocean, somewhere about 3,800 meters below the surface of the ocean, to explore and tour the Titanic wreckage of the Titanic ship that sunk many years ago. So what was this incident all about? Why this incident has happened? And what is the lesson that India can learn from this incident for its future deep ocean mission? That is going to be our major topic of discussion today. But first of all, to give you the brief background and context of this particular issue, on 18th of June, that is almost 4 or 5 days ago from now, a submersible saint named Titan went missing. On the board of this missing vehicles were one pilot and 4 other crew members who were traveling by paying a hefty sum to see the wreckage of RMS Titanic, well known as Titanic ship, which is nearly 4,000 meters underwater in the frigid Atlantic Ocean, North Atlantic Ocean to be more precise. Just after 1 and 45 minutes into the journey, the contact with Titan ship was lost, and as per the recent released report by the Coast Guard official of the United States of America, he said that the 5 people who were aboard the Titan in the missing submersible have died in a catastrophic event, and the wreckage of the Titan ship has been found to be floating on the surface of the seawater. That proves that the Titan has exploded. The submersible ship has exploded. So what was this Titan submersible ship actually? So it was basically a type of underwater vehicle, that is why we're calling it submersible, which could travel more than 1,000 meters below the surface of the sea. Basically, it was not a government vehicle, but it was operated by a privately owned US company by the name of OceanGate, and OceanGate used to organize underwater expedition both for the research purposes as well as for the tourism purposes. So this particular ship was on a was going inside for the tourism purposes. Now the company claims that Titan, which was built by using off-the-shelf technology, was much more lighter, much more cost efficient as compared to other deep diving submersible. Basically, the overall length of the ship was about 6.7 meters, and it was intended for site survey inspection, research, data collection, film and media production, as well as deep sea testing of hardware and software according to the OceanGate website. So if we try to understand this about the submersible in more detail, this we can see is the prototype, or we can say a picture of the OceanGate Titan submersible, and we can see it was able to go to the depth of almost 4,000 meters below sea level. It could move at the speed of 3 knots, and it has a capacity of 5, and thus this time it was fully occupied. In 5, 1 person was pilot or has to be pilot, 1 is a crew member, and 3 guests could be accommodated on this particular ship. The overall weight of this submersible ship was 10.4 tons, and the propulsion of the ship was done by 4 electrical thrusters, as you can see, that has been installed in different parts of the ship, 2 vertical and 2 horizontal in nature. Overall, if you look at the structure, inside we have a titanium cap, and inside the titanium cap, the hull was made up of very thick carbon fiber of almost 12.7 meter. And as far as the life support is concerned, there was sufficient life support for 96 hours for the 5 people who are occupying the ship. And overall, as far as the viewport is concerned, there was only one place where viewport was installed in the ship. That was about 53 centimeter wide. Apart from this, from everywhere, it was thickly encased in carbon fiber and titanium caps. Apart from that, if you look at the cost of this particular voyage, it was almost $250,000, and it included 8-day sail from the St. John's Island, and the dive was expected to go on for a time duration of about 6 to 8 hours. The Titan submersible ship was expected to descend or ascend at the rate of 55 meters per minute, and that is how we can understand this is the wreckage of the Titanic, and the Titan ship that went there or that was going there was actually to tour around this wreckage of the Titanic ship. So the term that we are using in this video is submersible. So what is the difference between submarine and submersible? Because both terms seem very close to each other, there is strong resemblance. However, there is a very big difference between submarine and submersible. For example, when the two categories can sometimes overlap, the submarine is a term that is usually referred to an underwater vehicle which is largely independent. Independent means that it can move without any support of other vehicle. It can depart, it can enter and come back to the port after an expedition. And on the other hand, submersible ship is dependent ship. It is obviously much more smaller in size, has much lesser power, and it needs to work with a ship in order to be launched and recovered. That means it is tethered to a ship. In this case, if we talk about Titan, it was tethered to a ship that is called as Polar Prince, and the movement of the Titan was basically controlled by the polar ship. So that is why we can say that the submersible is dependent ship while submarine is independent ship. Also, submarines have a lot of different kind of fuel. For example, some submarine runs on diesel fuel, some runs on the nuclear fuel, some runs on the we have in the we can say in experimental stage. We also have many submarines that are expected to run in the future on the what we can say is hydrogen based fuel. So if you look at the overall voyage of Titan, so Titan, as we have discussed, it was going on a trip to look at the wreckage of Titanic. Now we know that Titanic is a ship that was believed to be unsinkable, but unfortunately on the 15th of April 1912, it hit an iceberg on its maiden voyage, that is the first voyage, when it was traveling from Southampton in United Kingdom to New York in United States of America. And somewhere around the St. John's Island in the North Atlantic, we have the sinking of the Titanic, and 2,200 passengers and crew that were on board on the Titanic ship. More than 1,500 died, and that is why all of us know that a very popular movie has also been made on this same incident by James Cameron, featuring Leonardo DiCaprio. So basically, the expedition that was going to look at the wreckage of Titanic was operated not for the first time in 2023, but already has been operating since 2021 and has been successful earlier as well. And this costed about $250,000, and that is where the incident has happened. So if you look at how Titan submersible ship was operated upon, so first, as you discussed, it was made up of carbon fiber and titanium and weighed about 10.4 kilograms. A small porthole window was there at one end, but below 1,000 meters, since sunlight cannot reach below the water surface, the submersible would have to rely on its own lighting to explore and roam around the Titanic wreckage. The submersible obviously was dependent ship on the external crew members, and it was bolted from the outside. That means the people who are sitting inside the submersible, they could not have opened it. They cannot open the ship to go outside, obviously. Titan also has integrated launch and recovery platform, and it was run very what we can say, it seems surprising, but the overall controlling of Titan submersible ship was done by a Sony PlayStation style controller that was manufactured by the Logitech. Now, what is the relations that scientists India, or why this incident or why this catastrophe is very significant for India's science and technology development? Because scientists in India are also preparing to undertake a similar kind of dive like the one with Titan submersible in an indigenous vehicle as soon as year 2024. And as we can see from this photograph here, this is how the designing of the submersible ship is going on. It is called as Matsya-6000. However, the scientists say that multiple backup safety measures for the crew already has been put into place, though there may be many reviews on the safety system that need to be employed. So Matsya-6000, that is being developed by Government of India with the help of National Institute of Ocean Technology. The main objective of this mission of this submersible ship is to take 3 Indians to a depth of almost 6,000 meters, that is 2,000 meters deeper than what was expected destination of the Titan ship, into the Indian Ocean at a point about 1,500 kilometers away from the Kanyakumari. So that is the objective. Now, if you try to understand more about the ship, so Matsya-6000 has a syntactic foam, which is another safety feature, which is a kind of flotation device that has been installed in this. It would rise to the top and help to determine the physical location of the submersible even if it was unable to use surface. And this is something that was missing in the Titan, and that is why about more than 10,000 square kilometers of search radius or search diameter was basically where the search and rescue operation was going on. So this is something that can go a long way in rescuing the ship if some untoward incident happen in the future. Second difference between the Titan and Matsya-6000 is, as you have discussed, in Matsya-6000, we use only titanium enclosure, while in the Titan, carbon fibers was also being used. And the reason scientists say that why we have chosen, or India has chosen titanium instead of carbon fiber, is because obviously carbon fiber is stronger. However, it is not fracture resistant. And they believe that since the target depth of the Matsya-6000 is 6,000 meters, at such greater depth, anything other than titanium is not recommended. Titanium is also stronger than steel, but at the same time, it is many times lighter. And that is why a key criteria, it is very important key criteria, because it will help and ensure that the submersible can resurface with relative ease from the depth of the open ocean due to their lighter weight. However, what we can say in conclusion is that the big mystery, if we talk about the entire search and rescue operation that was going on, is that why it was impossible to locate the submersible despite several communication systems that were installed on board of Titan. However, it is possible that future submersible will have the equivalent of black box on aircraft, so that even if some untoward accident happen, even some catastrophe happen, by looking at the black box, by listening to the information recorded in that, it can help learn the actual cause of an incident. However, what we can say in the final point is the key lesson that has been learned from the Titan is that there is a necessity for repeated testing before actually implementing such kind of deep sea mission. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you understood the video, concept behind that. And if you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.